It's 7 o'clock, call to order. Roll call, please.
Dr. Matusik, Mr. Simrod,
Here.
Mr. Lau,
Present.
Mrs. Charmison, here, and Mr. Painter.
Here. Okay, item 2, looks like nobody signed up for comment. Moving on to item 3, consent agenda. Is there anything that anybody wants pulled out? Okay, I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Mr. Simrod,
Yes.
Mr. Lau,
Aye.
Mrs. Charmison, yes, Mr. Painter.
Aye. Okay, moving on to item 4, regular business. 4.1, discussion and possible board action regarding policy on personal electronic devices.
Yeah, I want to kind of talk about that a little bit. We've had a cell phone policy in place, and a little different. Middle school, they haven't allowed cell phones to be out. High school does it on passing times, things like that, and they put them in a patch. This past year, they changed the law to where from bell to bell, once instructional time starts until the dismissal of the day, no cell phones can be out. And, encourage kids to leave them in their vehicles, their lockers, whatever it may be, in their book bags, can be on their person, just can't be out at any point in time. It includes lunch, includes everything. So we have open campus, so those kids, once they get in their vehicles, obviously, they'll be able to do that then. So, and then it spells out a little bit more what personal electronic devices are. When it first started, it was just basically cell phones, but now with smartwatches, smart glasses, and everything. I mean, it encompasses everything with that. And so the policy, we contacted other schools, attorney, just got different opinions to see kind of what ties in with what we're currently doing, and then also what we think will work for us. And so this is a presentation tonight that obviously for the viewers out there, if there's something that we don't see or think about, we want people to read this policy and contact us. That's the reason we're trying to bring it to you now, as opposed to just August and, here we go. There are exceptions to it. I want to hit on that. The medical for student possibly is on an IEP or a 504. If they have medical situations, and maybe not on a 504. They don't have to be just on a 504. We had a young lady with insulin, I think, one time, came and talked. And so, we're going to work with parents. Some of it may be long-term, some of it may be short-term, but parents just need to contact their building principal and explain what the situation is. And so we'll be, like I said, more than willing to work with parents on this. School devices that we, obviously we issue Chromebooks, or maybe times that there's assignments where they'll pass out headphones or whatever. So, those are exempt from this policy. We're just basically encouraging parents that, if they need to get a hold of their students, send that teacher an email, contact the office. We'll get the message to the kids. If kids have to contact home, they need to go to the office, go to their teacher, and, go through the channels. Then just reach out. And obviously when you put in a law, there has to be some sort of punishment. Every time if they're seen, they'll be confiscated, and then parents will have to pick them up at the end of the day. Doesn't matter what grades they're in, parents will have to come and get them. So about the only way to kind of get maybe the parents to help on some of that is to have them get involved if they're not already. Elementary is not that big a deal, but high school, sometimes kids 17, 18, and don't have a hard time listening to mom and dad at times. So help us out a little bit there. But it's just kind of gradual possession. I mean, it's not meant to, lob heads off on this, but, they'll start off with lunch detention, and then second offense, and third offense, so on and so forth, before and after school detention, ISD, and then if it gets repetitive to the point of just taking too much principal's time, then you have to look at an out-of-school suspension. I just really don't think we'll have that. We haven't had that big of an issue. The last couple of years, kids have been really good about this. So, we'll put this in this year and see. So I'd take any questions or suggestions on changes or whatever. But like I said, it's kind of just the initial draft. There's nothing that's set in stone. That if people watch this and they say, well, what about this? We tried to think of all the different situations, but that doesn't mean that we didn't. So if there's no questions, that's the policy at this time I'd recommend to the board.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Simrod?
Yes.
Mr. Lau?
Aye.
Mrs. Charmison? Yes. Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Item 5, new business.
No new business tacked upon.
Okay, item 6, superintendent's reports.
What all's on the superintendent's report? Mine won't come up.
Facilities.
Okay, you know, we didn't have a lot of projects going on this summer. Finished the year very strong with the building fund, so, you know, we've got around 1.2, 1.3, I think, in the building fund right now. And with the new money to come in, you know, that way we could spend probably up to like 1.6, 1.7, not that we want to get down that far. So it kind of builds back, do we want to circle back to looking at, you know, we go to the ditch. At the time, we talked about that a few years ago, that was around $1 million, probably gonna be a little higher now, but some of the work of crossing the road underneath that was done. So won't be maybe as expensive, but it'll still be, I'm sure, I don't think, well, no construction costs did go down between now and then too much. You know, need to look at, you know, planning, if we want to look at bond issue sometime. You know, we talked to Jordan. You know, he's got it because we did grow as a district on our net assessed valuation a few years ago faster than what he had projected. He's able to pay off a little bit of that bond a little quicker, so we've accelerated the payments and kept the millage the same. So he could go in and do that to where it doesn't affect the current tax rate whatsoever. If we wanted to look at doing something small, I mean, we've been hit up on, you know, locker room for softball, and I think we're in agreement that something needs to be done. Locker rooms, bathrooms, redesigning the baseball area. But I think it's just that time to kind of really get started talking with community involvement and seeing what people feel like they can or cannot support, and get some other ideas out there. So I've got a list of them. I just didn't go over everything tonight that it's, you know, people have brought up, but you know, we talked about adding storage and dressing rooms for the auditorium, and I mean, there's a whole list of things, and there's no such thing as a bad idea when you're investing in your kids. So other than that, I think about the only thing we've got left, we got a little bit of painting. You know, the new concrete over there, it looks really good at the baseball field, or the, you know, west of baseball, north of football. But where you build those, where the lights are, you have those islands, you know, usually they're grass, and so people can differentiate. Well, they're not grass, and not being new concrete, it kind of has a little bit of an optical illusion, so we just got to do some safety painting, get those in. We're going to get some parking blocks. We've got them ordered, so we'll get that with the auditorium parking out here, and that's really not so much for the parking, but just to keep people coming in and doing donuts. You can see the out there, and you know, I'm sure if I was a kid, I'd probably been involved with something like that too. So nothing big, just kind of need to clean it up a little bit. Other than that, I can't think of anything. I'm not going to be able to do the lights on the football parking lot on the south side. Not going to be able to get that done by football, so we'll just wait till after football season and then look at progressing with that. And we're just going to do the light portion there of what it calls for in the, if we would have paved it that way and down the road, if we pave it or future boards down the road, the lighting will already be there as called for in the plans. So any questions on facilities I would entertain, but other than that, that's all I have.
Okay, moving on. Item 7, personnel. 7.1, proposed executive session to discuss the employment of an elementary special education teacher, elementary music teacher, and some extra duty assignments. So I will make a motion to enter executive session.
I'll second.
Mr. Simrod?
Yes.
Mr. Lau?
Aye.
Mrs. Charmison? Yes. Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Okay, returning to open session, it is 7:51. Board entered executive session at 7:09 p.m. Board members present. All board members except Dr. Matusik were present, along with Superintendent Jason Sternberger. Only agenda items were discussed, no votes were taken. I think I mentioned we returned to open session at 7:51. Item 7.2. Discussion of possible board action regarding extra duty assignments for the 2025-2026 school year.
I'd recommend to the board to make extra duty assignments as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Simrod?
Yes.
Mr. Lau?
Aye.
Mrs. Charmison?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Moving on, 7.3, discussion of possible board action regarding approval of the following adjunct teachers for the 2025-2026 school year. Tanner Black, Kimberly Faring-Greitz, Kevin Hopkins, Jennifer Richardson, Geneva Burgess Nelson, and Dallas Hunt.
That would be my recommendation as listed as well.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Simrod?
Yes.
Mr. Lau?
Aye.
Mrs. Charmison?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Okay, item 7.4, discussion and possible board action regarding the employment of the following certified staff on a temporary contract for the 2025-2026 school year. Certified teachers are Shauna Winstead, Becky Hood, and Olivia Fletcher.
And I'd make that recommendation as listed as well.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Simrod?
Yes.
Mr. Lau?
Aye.
Mrs. Charmison?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Item 8, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Simrod?
Yes.
Mr. Lau?
Aye.
Mrs. Charmison?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.